You got one life, for crying out loud. You might as well just give it all you got.
The Deej, Dan Jourdan.
Your daily dose of reality. Your daily dose of the Deej.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I need my daily dose of the Deej.
I make the news. I don't watch the news. I'm a leader.
The Sales Energizer, Dan Jourdan.
Listen, don't worry how to sell, baby. Worry about why people buy. And it's fun.
You don't need a 5-hour energy. All you need is the Sales Energizer.
Just when I think it's not going to be as fun as the one before, each one gets successfully better. What's the word I'm looking for? What's it going to take to get you into this car today, huh?
And now, please welcome the Sales Energizer, Dan Jourdan.
Boom! That's exactly it.
Do that. Let's do that.
Boom! That's exactly it. That's where we're going to go today.
It's the middle of the week.
You know what?
The middle of the week.
It's not the middle of the week. I'm telling you, Wednesdays is day one for my week. I swear. I mean, I have
what's Monday?
Well, that's the first part of the week. So what happens is, when I was a kid, you know, I have that little slogan. I say Wednesdays is Sunday at Carvel. You know, people don't know what that is. So when I was a boy, there was a store that sold soft serve ice cream, Carvel. I guess there's a couple around here. And the owner of the place, Tom Carvel, he had a raspy voice. Hi, this is Tom Carvel. And we got Cookie Puss, and he had Fudgy the Whale, and he would make these stupid commercials. But I even knew as a kid that this guy was brilliant, because what he did was he knew that Wednesdays was like the worst ice cream day of the week. And so he needed to figure out a way to get people into the store on Wednesdays. And so he came up with this thing. It was like a buy one, get one free Sunday at Carvel on Wednesdays. And so he made a whole commercial saying, Wednesdays is Sunday at Carvel. Buy a Sunday and get one free. I don't know if he was a Jewish guy,
smart.
but he had that raspy.
Certainly you've made him sound like that. And you know, a lot of people don't know, Dan, Amazon, our good friends over at the car buying public here on Amazon, Prime Day, actually came about the same way. Amazon found their lowest selling day or time frame, and that just became Prime Day, and now it's Prime Days, and that's why it moves all over the place, because they look to find the days that it could potentially be the lowest and turn them into the highest.
You see, there's always, within every crisis is an opportunity to sell. Right, there's an opportunity to win, and it can turn the total opposite direction, which is why I'm so excited today, Chris. Listen, I love seeing you. Don't get me wrong. I don't see you anymore. You're too busy working.
You always say the sweetest things.
Producing people all over the world. I saw you had a gig in Canada and all this stuff. Every day putzing around. And so I don't get to see. So I love seeing you. But every once in a while, God's bless us with having a real salesman. Someone with whom I can cavort like we're old buddies. We speak the same language, and every time, this is why people go to conventions, by the way. It's not just to hear the speakers, because they're, by the way, I got a gig tomorrow and Friday in Florida, plumbers. Anyhow, they don't come just to see the speakers. The main reason to go to these conventions is to meet other kindred spirits. And I found one here all the way from the other side of the pond, stuck, who knows how much quarantine he's been in and all this stuff. And so you never know what someone's going to look like when they come out of, hiding that people have been doing the last 2 years. So I'm so excited for this guest. I've been watching him on LinkedIn. I've been watching him in his career. I've been watching his company. Please help me welcome my man, Colin Ekers.
Yes. Thank you, Dan, for that amazing introduction.
Yeah, listen.
Great to be here.
They don't come cheap, by the way. I just want you to know. So Colin, first question. So here you are. Yeah. You're from the other side of the world. You're coming here, making your big, is this your American debut on a podcast?
It's my American debut on a podcast.
Okay. So on your big American debut. And so here he comes, ladies and gentlemen. And so he goes and with his background decides to wear beige so he'll really stand out. What the heck is that all?
Oh, thanks very much, Dan. Thanks. I like the cheap shots early.
Yeah,
Me now.
I told you
website,
I don't have any way of controlling what comes out of his mouth. I have an eject button, but not until after he says something.
Listen, check out his website. Okay. Go pull up his website there. It's Pegasus.
Red Pegasus, yes. That's
right.
Red
Pegasus. Pull up the website, and so when you look at that, it's bright red. It punches you in the face when you're there. It's like, I am your marketing guy, and so I'm expecting, Mr. Full of Life in beige. What the heck?
Well,
but Dan, you know what that means? That means that your personality is so much bigger than life that it takes it over. How's that?
Well, that's a very nice segue to a compliment there. Thanks, Dan. Thank you.
It's the old Don
No, it's funny because actually I'm normally am renowned for being the guy with the loud shirt and being the one that's, always peacocking, so shall we say. But no, today, look, I just thought, we're having a nice casual chat on a Wednesday afternoon. I've been in the office today. I've been seeing clients, and I'm finishing off here with a great podcast with you guys. And I quite like.
Yeah, it really isn't fair of me because here I'm in the middle of my day and I'm rocking and rolling. By the way, the secret to keeping your energy throughout the day, I'll ask you what you do. What I do is don't eat lunch. I find if I eat lunch, the act of digestion takes energy out of me and it slacks me off. Do you find that with salespeople that they're less in the afternoon than they are in the morning?
Well, I mean, it depends on the person, doesn't it? It depends on the individual. I mean, how do you keep your energy up during the day? I think it starts right from how you set yourself up in the morning, right? And for me, that's a little bit of exercise. It's getting up early. It's then getting on top of things before the first call. But look, there's always the old cliche, isn't there, of salespeople ducking off in the afternoon. But not me. I'm here working the hours. I'm here till late at night. So I just suppose it depends on what the personality you are, Dan. But
so it is afternoon by you. It's what time is it? 5 o'clock by you?
It's just on 5. So you're midday, right?
Yeah. So are you, how long do you go from now? We Americans think the world revolves around us. And so we think everybody has to work, whatever. But how long do you go?
Well, do you know what? At the moment, I am putting in the hours because I've been, running my business for just over a year now, and it's hard work, right? You've got to put in the graft, and that's the same with anything in life, right? You get out of life what you put into it, and I'm doing a fair amount of hours at the moment. But I've got a little baby boy, George. He's 3 months old, so he's just over there, and I can't stay at work for too long because I just need to get back in there and see him, to be honest. So this will be my last call of the day, Dan, and then I'm switching off.
Yeah, well, you should. Well, where is George? You got to bring him on. George needs to go. Yeah,
babies are good for ratings, Colin.
Yeah, is your wife there?
Yeah, well, my wife is probably watching somewhere inside.
Well, tell her to bring George in.
Well, you're telling her now, so maybe
I would call him George.
Well, yeah, really?
Yeah, I would call him George. But so this is cool. So, Colin, this is a perfect example because you are indicative of all the stuff that's going on right now. Over this past year, people are just making different decisions about their careers. Not only just working from home, but you have to work from home with your family also there at home, little kids, and you're starting a new business. So how do you discipline yourself, or do you discipline yourself to get this going?
Well, I think you have to. And I was faced with a difficult situation right when the pandemic started, and I was faced with redundancy, and the business I was in, our revenues were absolutely slashed. And that gave me the opportunity over the summer to think, okay, so what am I going to do with my life? And it's something I've always been telling myself, and I've always told other people I've met, I want to set up a business, I want to run my own business, I want to do my own thing. Yeah. And so, of course, when you're in the summer and I'm being paid by the government, I'm on the furlough scheme, so I'm getting some money by the government. I'm sitting there, and I knew that I wasn't going to get a job when I was coming back, but I wasn't getting paid as much as my normal salary, right? But still, I then just looked at myself in the mirror and said, Colin, if you don't get off your ass now and do something and set up a business, then you've been kidding yourself all along. And I think it was the fact that I'd been telling other people, it was the fact that I verbalized it, that it was like, I looked at myself, I had to do it. And then, Dan, the discipline comes from, well, once I've set out and said, this is what I'm going to do, then, I mean, I'm quite tenacious in that way. That's just me. I'm very, very determined. I put my mind to it and then I'm going to get it done.
He's pounding the table, Christo.
Yeah,
look at that.
Well, you know, I think you said something that's really important, Colin, and I don't want to graze over it. And I think a lot of people don't do this. Lots of people, like, they get inspired to set up a business, they get inspired to do something, but you proclaimed it and you put it out there and you said, I'm going to stand, I'm going to do that, and it's much different than just doing it. Like, if you really want to do it, grab some people you trust and tell them you're going to do it. Because it's far different, and then place a bet on it. Put something behind it. Invest yourself into it, and have those people hold you accountable. I think that's a great thing to live by for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't have put it better myself. And I mean, I actually listened to famous Premier League goalkeeper, actually. So I don't know if you guys in the States would be aware of him. There's a guy called Kasper Schmeichel. So he was the son of Peter Schmeichel, who was one of the greatest goalkeepers for Man U, you know, in the history of, you know, of modern day football. And Kasper Schmeichel was, you know, kind of forever living in his dad's shadow. And, you know, his dad, you know, Kasper Schmeichel was on this podcast. He told this story, and he'll tell it a hell of a lot better than I will. But basically, he turned around to his dad and said, I want to win the Premier League. And his dad said, well, have you ever told anyone that? You know, have you ever said that out loud? And he's like, well, actually, no, I haven't. And he said, well, that's where you're going wrong. You need to actually go out and tell people. And he did then a talk back at his old school. And he turned around and he said, and by the way, I'm going to win the Premier League one day. And then in the next season, playing for Leicester City, who against all odds, you know, crazy season, managed to win the league. And, you know, so, yeah, you're absolutely right, Chris. I think, you know, verbalizing is so important. You know, and I look back and think about what's happened over the last 18 months. And it's because I've been saying it all along, right? And I'm just going to stop there because I have got a special guest that I'm going to bring into the show. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
This is George. Yay.
Oh, look at George. Oh my God.
The ratings have just, you know, skyrocketed.
I can't believe George hasn't been here before. You've been hiding him. Look at George.
Yeah, he's got arms in the air.
He's doing the Deej. He's doing it.
This has definitely got to make the bonus reel. George is number one. What's your wife's name?
My wife's Lily. My wife's name Lily.
Lily, I just want to
thank you, Lily.
I want to, Lily, personally thank you. George is so much better looking than your husband, so I appreciate that. And you're awesome for doing that. You're a good woman.
She's a great woman. She's
a
great woman.
You know, I tell this story a million times. My dad told me that. He says, you know, Danny, in business, everybody will give you a second chance. You know, you always get a chance, but you make one or two bad personal decisions, you'll pay for it for the rest of your life. He says, marry the right woman. And you did that. So my dad would be proud of you, Colin. But I'm kind of ticked off, though, because, you know, you have a great, you know, British name, Colin. You know, we could have a Nigel or you know, and you know, what was the last name that you gave? Kasper Schmeichel. I mean, you can have really good names, and you named them George. You know, just a normal. Actually, King George. Why not Hastings? I want. My next kid, I'm naming Hastings. You know, it's just like a good British name, Hastings.
Hastings. I don't think I've ever met anyone called Hastings. I think that must be lost in translation across the pond there.
Okay. Yeah. So Hastings. So this is really important because you did do this, and everybody's going into their own business, but it needs to be. You almost have to kind of burn the bridges behind you. It has to be a hell be damned. Whatever happens, come hell or high water, I am going to do this. And for many people, I have to quantify exactly what that means. So when I started my businesses, it was very easy for me. It was 150 dials a day. I had to make 150 dials a day and talk to as many people as I can. And you'll get business right away if you do that. And so that's how I knew if I'm doing the right thing and growing the business. So for you, and I cut off any I call it free money. I cut off any kind of poison in the background. So are you still on the government dole? Is that still a program that you have?
I wish. No, that finished, within a couple of months. So I knew that.
Good. Yeah. Because that's poison. That's poison.
Yeah.
You got to get rid of that. And it's, because people can figure out how to game the system, and that's the wrong game to play.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. And I mean, that was just for that period of time whilst the business was making that decision before I was faced with redundancy. So that was only a couple of month thing. But you're absolutely right in what you're saying about actually having that conviction, because when I first started up, I was saying to myself, okay, this is a no-brainer because there's loads of people that are facing a similar situation. So there's loads of salespeople on the market. No one's really hiring right now. You've always said you wanted to set up a business, so you've got time to do it. And I was always saying to myself, well, and look, if it doesn't work out, then I can just get a job in the future. Like, I'm very confident of that, so it's fine. I can fall back to it. And I actually watched it was a Tony Robbins event. It was that New World, New You event in, the beginning of 2021. Absolutely loved it. And one of the big, things that he was talking about was about your identity and your story. And then it was a complete mindset shift, which was take that out of your narrative. Take the thing of, if it doesn't work out, then, you can find and fall back into a job. And I just switched mentally. I switched and said, well, no, I'm going to make this work. This is going to happen. And whatever challenges I face along the way, I'm just going to do it. Right. So, good. Totally. That was the big shift for me.
Jim Duffy said something important there. He just said it's a greater risk to work for somebody than it is for yourself. If you think about it, when you work for somebody, you have one customer.
Yeah.
And if that customer leaves you, you got nothing. But if you have a business, well, you have 100 bosses, but they're called customers. And if one of them fires you, who cares? You got 99 more. There's much more security in having in going after customers and going after jobs. So what is it that 100%. You do? What is it? If I'm a small business, how can you help me?
So, if you're anything like any of my other clients, then you're finding that you either don't have the capacity or you want to increase your capacity to develop a successful strategy to accelerate growth. Right? And whether that's with your people, whether it's with your technology, whether it's with just pulling together the strategy to help you, then that's what I can do to help. So
you help me with sales or help me with customers or what?
Well, with either. Look, typically it depends on what I've got. 3 kind of product lines. So one is the director as a service. So I'm going into small businesses, startups, and me and my team, we're acting as sales director, commercial director, and then doing everything that is involved in that, from developing the strategy, building the technology suite, to training the salespeople and the whole things that go with that. The second area is sales training. So training sales teams and, traditional, like we've got a team of salespeople. We want to help, increase revenue. We want to actually increase our closure rate. We want to see more customers. And then the third area is technology. So with all of that, it comes, we live in a digital world, and, there's some really cool software that we're out there putting into businesses that's going to help. So
because all those
very
things
much
have
a
changed.
typical consulting. It's very typical consulting business. We're a sales and digital marketing agency.
All right, so I'm going to give you a problem. So Richard Booty, it was one of the people who commented here. I actually know this guy. So Booty, I'm going to use you as an example. So give Chris the name of your company, but I know what he does. So Richard Booty has a company, and what they do is they sell. They have this incredible suite of, it's an HR suite. So you go into a company and anything you need to do with your people, they can take care of, and it's all automated and all that stuff. So, if you need, handouts, or you need to outsource all this stuff. So he's in a space with several other large companies, and they need to build and train their sales force. What would you, with this product, how would you first, when you approach a company like this, what's your first questions? And I'm going to make up the answers. So I'm going to pretend I'm Rich Booty because he won't give us the name. I think it's HR Miser or something. You got to give it Merlin. HR Merlin. Chris Stone, see if you can find that company.
Will do.
All right. So how can you help his company get his software programming into more other companies?
Well, the first thing, Dan, before we go into it, like for me, it's all about helping people, right? I'm not here to force a product down anyone's throat. I'm here to help people, right? And so my first question is always going to be, so what did you say? What did you say the name was, Dan, that you were going to be? Rob, did you say?
Oh, I'm Dick Booty, but
Dick.
just call,
Okay, so Dick,
yeah.
tell me.
Okay,
so
call me Dick.
How do you think we can help?
Well, our challenge is we've been depending on incoming leads, and they're horrible incoming leads. I don't know how we're getting, but they're not really effective, and they're cold as ice.
Okay, and so do you mind if I ask where are you getting your leads from?
Yeah, we have some marketing program. They do, when they fill out a form that they're looking to hire people, or like from Indeed. I think it's scraped from Indeed, companies that are hiring people, and so those become our leads.
Okay,
I'm making that up totally, but
yeah, I know. And
okay.
and the thing is, is that from like an agency, or is someone offering you this service, or how's that working?
Oh, it's something we're doing internally.
Internally.
Yeah.
So you have like your own marketing team that are putting these forms together, and then they're generating leads. But the people that are coming through are
they're terrible. I think it's just they're not our. It's like plumbers and electricians, and really we need more like insurance and finance companies.
Okay. All right. And Dick, whose role is it then to generate? Whose strategy is this? Whose role is it to generate leads for the business? What's your role?
We have some somebody that was interning with us, and now they're doing the marketing.
Okay, so you have like a specific person on marketing.
Yes,
and then you've got a sales team.
Yeah, she's a young kid, but she's really good with Facebook.
Okay, all right. And
there's the company, by the way. Thank you. I mean, is Chris Stone not the best producer ever? See how we just?
Yeah, he's brilliant. And so then, how big's your sales team, Dick? If you don't mind me asking.
Actually, there's only one. There's only me right now, and we want to build a team.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And when you say you want to build a team, you're talking about leads. What's the ideal? You've got, how many leads do you need to achieve your revenue goals? Where do you want to get to?
We'd like to have really probably if we had more than 50 leads a month, we probably wouldn't be able to handle it.
Okay. But you need a certain amount of quality leads. That's the challenge.
It's my idea that actually I read this. So this is like 50 leads or more, you have an 85% chance of reaching your goals. 50 leads or less, you have like a 15% chance. So I want 50 leads a month.
Okay. All right. Well, look, I mean, we specialize in helping companies like yourselves, sales leaders like yourselves, and entrepreneurs who are saying that we need to accelerate growth, and we don't have the capacity internally right now to develop what does that strategy need to look like. But you recognize you have a need, and
yes,
I've only asked you a few questions, right? And typically, what I would do, Dan, is I would then say, right, let's go into a proper call. Let's go into this in a bit more detail, right? And then let's go through and exactly work out exactly where you want to get to. You want to get your 50 leads. But
so here's the problem. Off role play now.
Yeah.
Off role play, because this is important for salespeople out there to find out, and and for me too. You're finding I guess a problem in all this stuff, but man, I don't know what I need. I'm calling. You're the pro. Mm-hmm. All I know is I want more business.
Yeah.
And so by you asking me those questions, you're kind of making me feel bad because I feel like I don't know my business. So how do you, as the salesperson, the real salesperson, get that out of me without kind of turning me off and insulting me?
Yeah, well, look, I think this is where it's all about relationship, right? And it's all about that perception impression. If this was the first call we did, the first things I would be doing is I would just be asking him high level, some of those questions.
Yeah.
Right. And then I'll turn around and say, look, as I said, we help entrepreneurs and startups and sales leaders who recognize that they need to accelerate growth. We help them devise strategies that'll get them leads, that help them drive revenue. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like right now because there's various different areas of our business. But what I do recommend is that let's book in a call and let's go through a full discovery on where you're getting your leads, what's your target market, right to what you want to achieve. And then let's see. And then let's see if there's something we can do. And if there's something, then great. And if not, then we'll at least have gone through that process. But I'm not here to sell anything to anybody that doesn't need it. So it's
let me ask you this:
very much a consultative process.
Do you help with messaging too? Because a lot of times companies don't even know what they're selling, or I sound like everybody else. Yeah,
sound like everybody else, or they talk too much about their product and not how it actually benefits other people and how it benefits their client. So yeah, absolutely. And this is the thing: there are, as I said, it's either that they don't have the capacity or they don't know where to start. Like you said, I just want to grow the business and I don't know where to start. And actually through that discovery, you're absolutely right. You're not trying to back someone into a corner to make them feel bad. But what you are doing is really uncovering where the problems are. Because
finding the pain.
Finding the pain because they may turn around to you and say, well, yeah, I think we just need to get our sales team to sell better. But actually you look at it and go, well, to be honest, you're using a pretty crappy CRM. You could really automate some of this stuff, and your messaging and your website. That's what you need to do to help. So, I mean, in this example where you've got the lady in the marketing department who's generating leads and they're no good. It's like, well, what does the content look like? What's the content? What's the messaging on your content that's generating these leads? So
yeah, but I think
it is so broad. It is so broad.
Yeah, that's right. But it was good the way you turned me out to what's happening. Chris, pull up Crispin Cruz, one of his things too. This is a friend of mine, and we had a conversation, and he was telling me he had this lead that he was talking to, and he was trying to find like that. He was saying, so tell me what's going on. Are you having any problems? I think they sell managed services and IT type of stuff. And this was a hospital. He's like, no, we got all that covered. And then Chris told me that somehow he worked out an on-site visit for him. It's like a 2-hour drive and they're going to an on-site visit. And I said, how'd you turn it around? And the way he turned it around, it was very similar to you. He was asking a bunch of questions and the person was kind of standoffish saying, no, we got that covered. We're all set with that. Actually, yeah, we really don't need anything. And so Crispin said, these exact words. Well, it sounds like you're running on all 8 cylinders. Everything's going great. You have no problems, and you really don't need anything that I have to offer. And as soon as he said that, the guy said, well, I wouldn't say that. And then the only thing Crispin Cruz said after that was, really? That sounds interesting. Tell me about it. Yeah. And that's where he came the true thing. Yeah. And so very, very easily. Oh, look, who is his name? Adrian. You see, there's a good English name. Here you are with King George. I love King George though. Now
Adrian's Irish.
What?
Adrian's Irish.
Oh, well, is Irish not in Great Britain? Or we're still in the
we're still over the other side of the pond. It's all the same.
We're still in the empire of sorts. That's good. How you doing, Adrian?
But anyway,
yeah. So,
look, to your point,
a lot of times you got to take it away. You got to call them out on it because people don't know what they really want.
Well, exactly. Some people don't know really what they want, and I always think about. I really try and simplify sales and try and think about it's a journey. It's about going on a journey with a client, and it's like. First thing is, where are you now? What are you doing today? Like, how many salespeople have you got? Where's your leads coming from? Who's your target market? What do you want to achieve? Then it's, okay, where do you want to be? Where do you want to go on this journey? Where do you want to get to? I want to get 50 leads a month. I want my sales team to be doing this. I want X amount of revenue. And then it's about, okay, so on getting from here to here, what obstacles are you going to face? Yeah. What's the key to help you get there? And then determining whether you're the right person to do it. Because sometimes, Dan, you're going to turn around to them afterwards and go, well, actually, I think I'm not the right person to help you. I can help you with this and this, but what you actually need is this element. And that's really where I think the key to really great, successful sales is, and it comes, again, from helping people. It's a genuine desire to speak to somebody and say, where do you want to get to? Can I help you do it? And it's not about
how do you get into those? how do you, with your company, your new company, and you have no, you may or may not, people out there may or may not have any case uses or things like that. How do you get into that conversation that they take you seriously? How do you get your leads? Hot shot.
Well, do you know, this is the thing, I've been really lucky, Dan, right from the beginning. My website was only launched last month. So everything I've done has all been through picking up the phone and networking. And actually, come back to get me thinking about that second lockdown in January of last year, where actually it made it easier for me, because then I was just picking up the phone to people I know, people in my network, letting them know what I was doing. I was able to have 4 video calls a day. Whereas back in, I know pre-COVID times, I would have had to get in a car, go and meet people, arrange it, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But look, Dan, in answer to your question, I go at it exactly from the angle that I've said, which is, how can I help? And I've just picked up the phone and emailed people in my network and said, this is what I'm doing. I'm offering these services, and I'm really acting as a sales consultant here to identify what are your problems, and then can I help you? And then from there, that's always sparked conversations, and it's led to me, being really successful my first year. And then clients are happy with what I do, and then you get referrals. And the website I've done really is I don't know, maybe it's a bit of a vanity project, right? It's a bit of a vanity project, and look, I know it's going to help us. It's going to help us scale, right? So now as I scale the business, it's important. So the website's up there. People know what I do. And
what does it look like to work with you? And what was that? Who was that other person who came? Adam Moore. Yeah, I like Adam Moore. How do you know Adam Moore?
He's a great friend of mine. Great friend of mine from back in college, and one of the people that really supported me and getting my business off the ground. So yeah, he's all about specific benefits. Yeah, specific benefits.
Right, exactly, but based on what your customer wants. So you hop on the phone and you're only reaching out to your network. Is there any cold calling, or what are you asking for when you're at your neck?
Honestly, at the moment, we haven't done any cold calling. It's all been completely.
Why don't you just put a stake in my heart?
I know, because you love a cold call, right?
I love a cold call.
But this is also part of, it's part of scaling the business. And so absolutely, it's going to be a strategy. It's going to be part of it, right?
What does it look like in that case? What does it look like to work with you? So, because you say you want to scale, there's a point. I mean, you have a few people in your company, but how much can you really handle? So what does it look like to work with you? I'm a small business. Let's see what Jim Duffy. Jim Duffy's one of our guys. Jim Duffy has a great business. And what he does is he has a very specific clientele that he sets appointments for with another very specific type of clientele. But he's one man and wants to grow it into a team and all that stuff, and really doesn't have the know-how to. Actually, this is me. You might as well be talking to me. Doesn't specifically have the know-how to do that. I just wanted to mention Jim Duffy's name because he's going to be on the show, and he's a cool dude. And he loves cold calling. So I want to do that. So, and I want to hire you as some sort of a coach or a consultant or something. Tell me what it looks like.
Yeah. So, well, firstly, you obviously know what you're doing, Dan. But if it was me and you, if it was your buddy there, the first thing would be, I mean, through that consultation to begin with, before I said I can help you, I know I can help you. I'd already identified quite a bit about the business, right? I understand who the target market is, who you're looking for, what you're looking to achieve. And so then we've probably already devised a bit of a plan, right? And that plan, often what I find, with, especially, people that are in startup mode or solo entrepreneurs, is that they're firstly just doing sales on an Excel, right? And they're keeping track of conversations on Outlook, right? So the first thing is, okay, let's professionalize things a little bit. Let's, get you into a CRM. Let's start, keeping track. Let's start segmenting who you want to target, right? These are people.
What CRM? What CRM do you use?
Well, I'm a HubSpot partner. I'm also an Active Campaign partner.
I use Active Campaign and HubSpot for some of my clients, but I'm a big fan of Sales Flare. That's my new one. Have you ever checked out the Flare?
I have checked out the Flair. In fact, that was where I first came across yourself, Dan. Actually, I think you were doing a webinar for Sales Flair.
Oh, really?
How to be a better salesperson. And I'm a life learner. I like to learn, and if there's a webinar that can help me be better and deliver better value for my clients, I was all over it. And then
you're not only a learner. You're not only a learner, you're an action taker. Given you started the business, you contacted me regarding this and all that stuff. Yeah. And believe me, King George is awfully happy that you're an action taker, because he's going to follow in your footsteps and be really, really a monster in the world. So
I hope so. I bet.
Yes, if Lily doesn't get in the way, you know how she is. I tell you.
Yeah.
Trouble.
And Jim Duffy here uses Nimble, and so it sounds to me like, Colin, what you're doing is you're working with the client and then determining what CRM works best for whatever business they have.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the businesses that I'm involved in is Roberts Group. We're one of the biggest change partners for Salesforce as well. So we're implementing Salesforce and doing the whole change management when you're talking about large enterprises that are really moving over. And the reality is that there isn't one CRM that's going to fit every business or every industry. And so, yeah, absolutely. To your point, Chris, it's like identify, okay, what are you doing? What are you using? And then, okay.
So step one is keeping track of your clients and your prospects and building your pipeline.
Yeah.
And that is a huge component of getting somebody organized and started.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's just about then professionalizing the approach and then using technology to make your life easier. I mean, with these CRMs, there's so much that you can do in terms of keeping track of automating workflows and keeping track on who's going onto your website and creating content so that people can then download and click and book meetings with you, just like I did with you, Dan. So there is so much out there that can help entrepreneurs and startups really get things going.
So what happens is a lot of people will get a HubSpot, or just like, most people don't use, Word effectively, or don't use Excel effectively, but most people absolutely don't do their CRMs effectively. Even myself. I mean, there's so many automations that have not been set up. So you assist in that?
Yeah, absolutely. We're assisting the whole setup of the CRM and making sure we get the best use of it. And we can do the copywriting behind it when it comes to the messaging, like you said, whether that's copy for your website or copy for your emails, or we'll build out the lists. We'll help you with the target market, the ideal customer profile. So, it's really, when it comes to what we can offer, it's really so broad that, we can help you devise the strategies that you can go and do it yourself, or we can help you devise the strategy and we can come in and help you deliver an action on it. So,
wow, that's really good. So you assist in the implementation of those automations and the forms build out and the email funnels and that whole thing to make your life to do that's what's happening, right? Technology has made it that the small guy can do the same thing as the big guys do.
Yeah.
For less than half the price.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the thing, some of my clients come to me and say, well, I need to hire a salesperson. But then the first thing when you actually look at it is, well, I don't think you're ready for a salesperson, because a salesperson is going to want to come in and they're going to want to have the tools to be successful. So there's a few things that we need to set up first, right? Which includes the messaging, the product, the sales process, what's expected of that person, right?
What happened to your camera? You got all fuzzy for some reason.
Oh, did I?
Oh, now you're back.
I'm back.
You're almost back. But that's huge. So a good lead for you. If someone comes to me and says, hey, I think I need to hire a salesperson, I say, before you do that, you need to talk to Colin and King George.
Well, that would be very kind. Yeah. And I'll make sure that King George is there. If that's the way you're selling it, then he needs to be here as well. So
that's right. Yeah. So that's it. That's how you can say, there's your messaging. If you think you need to hire someone, click here for the 15 things to do before you do that. It's a PDF. And to get that PDF, they have to fill out a form, which you created on ActiveCampaign. And then you got a lead.
Bang. Yeah. Bang.
Good. Yeah, that's
Good
it.
Advice. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. And so basically that messaging is that stuff that you do for customers. That is awesome. I really like that, actually. You struck a chord with me.
Yeah. I mean, it's really the three services that I'm offering are really complementary, because you have to have the right technology in place, right? Doesn't matter whether you're a small business or an enterprise business, you have to have the right technology that's going to help your sales program, right? And that's attracting visitors to your website. It's about turning them into prospects. It's about closing deals. And then it's about looking after them as well, so they turn into fans, so that you get repeat business and referrals. So you need that technology. But then you also need to have the right people, and they need to be invested in, and they need to have the right pitch, and they need to, be great themselves personally, as well as what they're selling and how they're selling. And you also have to have the right process, right? You have to have the right strategy to begin with. So it all kind of complements, and that's where really it's very much, like I said, we're a sales and marketing agency. We are consultants. I'm a consultant. I'm not going to turn around and say this is what you need until I've spoken to you, identified what your real challenges are, and said, okay, yeah, I can help you, and this is what we need to do.
Well, that's great. And how do you charge? Is it on a monthly basis or by the project?
Yeah, project, by the month, day. We totally flexible, really. It's where I'm in a stage. I'm listening to my customers. I'm identifying what works, and then we're taking it from there.
Well, the thing is, if you don't mind the coaching, the thing is that your business, and the reason I'm doing this is because there's a lot of consultants. There's a lot of people who are starting their business now as consultants. And one of their biggest questions is, how do you charge? And so it goes along the same line as what you said earlier, is that the value that you give first. So you have to ask, thinking about the customer, what is the value that they can ultimately achieve from using you? For instance, I gave an appointment to somebody. I set up an appointment for somebody. They closed the deal. They made $200,000. Now, how much was that appointment worth? Just think of that. If they just earned 200 grand, which is like 100 pounds. Hey, what do you think of that? I'm here for conversions.
Sorry, I must admit, I got distracted by the message that came up on the screen, and so I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
Okay, turning your customers into fans. Love that mindset. Great, yeah.
Tell me.
Turning your customers into fans. Yeah, people will fire their vendors. They won't fire their friends. And so you make sure you're constantly giving value and being honest with people. But yeah, so I when you're trying to price yourself, just think, what's the value to them? If this person, I help somebody get an appointment, and they went on the sales call, they signed a contract, it's going to eventually turn into $200,000 for this person. So how much was that appointment worth? How much could I have charged for that? So your services are the same way.
Yeah.
If you find out the value that you give is how much they can ultimately earn, for someone to pay 10 grand to earn $1 million.
Yeah.
There you go.
Totally makes sense. I mean, of course, you have to work out how many of those conversations you're going to have, in order to achieve that 200 grand, right? But you're absolutely right. Going through the metrics and trying to work out, okay, so what is your average customer worth to you, and how many leads do you generate now? And so therefore, how many leads do you want to generate in the future? And, what's the goals? And yeah, absolutely. You work out what the value is. You work out what the goals are of the project. But I mean, at the moment, I charge by the day, right? Because for me, it's about my time. And just because I'm able to deliver a greater return for one of my clients, I haven't said it that I'm going to then inflate my day rate or as a result of that. But you're absolutely right. As we build the agency and we start to offer more services that are just beyond, okay, you've got the commercial director coming in and delivering the strategy, but actually now we need the copywriter. We want someone to write the content. We want someone to manage the website. We want someone to manage the automations that sit behind it and track the analytics. Then that's going to be more of a package. That's going to be more of a, retainer fee,
you're doing everything.
Agency, so.
You're doing everything right. When you start a business, what you do is you can either sell your time for money, or the services for money. And at the beginning, you have more time than money, so you got to use your time. And when you have more money than time, then you can start paying other people to do it. But at the front stage, you got the time. That's what you're charging for, and that's what you do. And then people go into there. So ain't nothing wrong with it, and that's awesome. But you need more of those days to be booked.
Yeah, absolutely. But Dan, can I ask, how do you charge? How do you charge out?
Tons of money. Yeah, I charge. I charge monthly for my services, all different services. It's any and all things legal to get you more customers.
Yeah.
And so, based on the size of the customer and what they do, we charge a monthly fee. It's usually it starts at $5,000 a month, and it goes up from there, plus commission based on the deals that we get.
Yeah.
Pretty simple. And we go month to month and all that stuff, so we can take care of that. But the idea is, when you're going into selling your services, you need to know what the perceived value is and then what you're willing to take on the bottom. And you just ask for it, and it's no problem. Never be afraid to talk money.
No,
never be afraid to talk money. In fact, I was on a call the other day, and it was a bigger deal, and we were with everybody, and everybody's getting along, everything's so good or whatever. And I'm like, we haven't talked about money yet. What's going on? And so this was my line: is it okay if we talk about money now? That was it. And everybody laughed and all that thing, and then we just got it out of the way and moved down, and then it was all better. But never let that kind of linger.
No, well, so, you're absolutely right. For me, it's an essential part of the whole sales process, right? Understanding. So you want to get from here to here, whatever you're selling, your customer as a desired outcome, whether they want to improve something or whether they want to overcome a challenge. So, okay, so what are you looking to invest into fixing this problem? Or what are you looking to, invest in getting you from here to here, right?
Yeah, well,
absolutely.
The challenge with that question. The challenge with that question is, you could get zero, or I've never thought of it, or something. So, in my opinion, and I like that approach to being direct, but you also have to assign a cost for not doing business with you. And so, how you do that is, let's say you're generating $5,000 a month, but your goal is to generate. I need to generate $10,000 a month. Well, and you're only doing 5,000, so that means. And how many months has that been going on? That's been going on for 6 months. And so if you don't do anything 6 months from now, it'll be the same thing. So let's say 6 months. So 6 months times 5, that's $30,000. So the cost of you doing nothing is $30,000. So if I can come in there for 10 and make that happen, is that worth it? So you right now, they're not thinking they're losing anything because they're not paying anything, but you got to let them know that there is a cost for doing nothing. And once you can quantify that, you have more leverage, but it's an honest talk.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And, this is the thing. You're absolutely right. You'll ask that question, what are you looking to invest in to get him from A to B? And sometimes you'll get, well, I don't know, actually, I haven't thought about it. So then, okay, fine. Well, then let's look at it and let's look at, see what makes sense. Sometimes you'll get, well, look, the budget's here because I've got my boss here and a stakeholder here, and this is what we're going to sign. And well, then that's going to completely change the conversation. And actually, then maybe I can't help you. But you're absolutely right. Helping the customer quantify it. And that's, again, where it comes to, for me, it's like helping people, because sometimes you've got either a entrepreneur who's set up and says, well, I don't know how much I need to invest. I don't know what that looks like. And you could put a price to them, and they might turn around and, well, okay, that's miles out from what I was thinking. But you have to help, as you said, you have to help them understand what they're going to get as a return from it. And and it's no different from the customer who has a budget in mind that's completely out of whack, and you need to turn around to them and say, look, you are not going to get from here to here on that budget, if that's what you've been assigned. So now the way I can help you isn't actually me pitching a product to you. The way I can help you now is to help you facilitate internally how to make the decision so that we can have a proper conversation, right? You need to firstly get your ducks in a row, whether it's with your marketing director, your sales director, the MD. You need to firstly agree that this is a problem you want to fix. And then once you've agreed it's a problem you want to fix, then you can come and talk to me. Because right now, you're not in this space.
That's
so
cool.
yeah, helping customers navigate what they've got internally and navigate their internal systems.
Colin,
huge.
our new friend Adam Moore wants to know what you like most about running this new business.
Well, honestly, it's the people I get to work with, right? Because I get to choose that. And that's not a slight on anybody I've worked with in the past, but I choose the people I work with, and we have great fun. And do you know what? My clients, they are either friends already or they become friends. And that's really where it comes. It's like, I really want to help. And the same level of dedication and discipline I put into building my business, I put into my clients. I want to better myself. We deliver more value. And it's about building long-term success for friends. That's what I love most about it. When me and Adam have our chats, we spend the first 10 minutes talking about golf. So it's great.
Yeah, Dan and I used to be friends.
I know.
And,
those are the days.
Then we got into business together, and then
those were the days. But actually, my son actually went to a little networking meeting this morning, and which he, kicking and screaming because he hated doing it for his business. And then he called me back afterwards, and he says, I hate you. I went in there, and 5 people came up to me, and they wanted to, they want to help me because they know you, and so. Those guys, friends of mine or people in the business community, just want, people just have a need to help. And so they want to do it. And so utilizing your network is the exact right idea. Because you have lived a life of accessibility, that people have been accessible to you, you've made yourself accessible to them. Now in your time of need, other people become accessible to you. It's because the way you and Lily and George have lived your lives is why your business is being successful now. Red Pegasus. What does that mean, by the way? I mean, where'd you come up with that?
Well, let me tell you something. Thinking of a name is tough. I think of a business name is tough. I spent a lot of time last summer thinking, okay, what am I going to call my business? And am I going to put sales in there somehow? And, what am I going to do? And actually, it was a friend of mine that I was talking to at the time who was talking about Greek mythology. He was reading a lot of Greek mythology at the time. And I think that must have been what then sparked me to say, okay, so let me find some meaning. I want to find a name that has some meaning. And then came across the Pegasus. And, firstly, I thought, okay, that's pretty cool creature, right? Big horse, wings. Yeah. But then I found out that it represents innate talent and freedom and opportunity. And that's like, I was like, okay, yeah, that's what I thrive to give my clients, to help them, achieve their own goals and find their own opportunities. And then the red's all about as you said at the beginning, it's about passion, power, what I can help deliver for my clients. So then that was it. I then stuck with it and said, okay, that's it. The Red Pegasus. And then
I mean, look how much more powerful Chris Stone looks than you. Yeah, because he's
no more beige on podcasts.
I need to be wearing red.
Yeah,
no more beige
that's
on
it.
Podcast.
Exactly. Now you've got a complex that Dan gave you.
That's my that's my addition to your. I've added another neuroses to your life.
Okay, and why are you still wearing these headphones with what are these wires? What's this all about?
Yeah, there we go.
You're not keeping up with the latest tech or what?
I could take it out, but I'm worried that it's gonna. Will it echo now, Chris Stone? Can you hear me now? Does it echo?
Probably will. Don't mess with Dan's tech, Colin. It's you never. This whole thing will go off the rails.
No. Oh yeah. I'm not gonna do this. All right. Well, that was good. Listen, I love that. Listen, so I'm from New Jersey. Is there a Jersey in England?
Yeah, there's a Jersey in England. Yeah.
And so I'm in New Jersey. Chris Stone, you've named
Chris Stone, everything about after us.
Chris Stone has no historical reference here. Like
I
there's
keep
a York,
it's not all about you, Dan.
There's a New York.
It's,
that's what it is. But so it's impossible to offend me. So keep it coming. All right. So listen, this was awesome. I tell you, you do have a bigger personality for somebody in beige, and I'm really pleased. How are things there in Great Britain as far as lockdown and stuff? Are you maskless and proud, or what's going on? Everything back to normal?
Yeah, everything's pretty much back to normal now. So,
Good.
I mean, there's a lot of people still wearing masks out of choice, but yeah, everything's pretty much back to normal.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's good. You
good.
guys been healthy? King George is doing all right?
King George is doing well. Me and Lily have avoided the lurgy for the time being, so we're very grateful. So everyone's good. Yeah. What about you? How's things going?
That's good. Yeah, well, listen, I'm impervious to anything. I vowed long ago never to get this illness because I was never going to get tested. And so that's been my philosophy. Don't get tested.
That's one strategy. Okay. Yeah, that's one strategy.
I do have one final thing before we sign off. I know we're heading towards the top of the hour here, but I really wanted your opinion, Colin, because I know you successfully have launched this new business, and I think what's really underrated is jingles. And I kind of wanted your thoughts on this jingle that we came across. Tell us what you think.
Well, if your sales team sucks and you don't know what to do, call Deej, 678-910-9912. Call Deej, 678-910-9912.
What do you think?
I love it. Where's my one?
Yeah, well, that's what you get on Fiverr. That's what you get on Fiverr. But actually, that was a great point, Chris Stone. All technology and all these kind of ability to do stuff that you wouldn't even think possible is available to everybody now, not just the big companies, not just the big corporations. And because of this situation we had for 2 years, you get really excellent, high price consultants that you could never afford when they're working for big six accounting terms and all that stuff, and they're all in the world. But you can get people like Colin, as good as they get in your company to help you succeed. And Colin, I just want to let you know, I really appreciate you coming and putting up with Chris Stone and all his antics. And you're the first one to, I'm glad we were allowed to premiere King George for the first time on American style shows. And you keep that Lily happy, because she's a good one. And I wish nothing but good things to happen to you and your business. And if anything I can do to help you, just let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dan, thank you so much. Thank you for having me this afternoon. It's been a blast, and I love your passion. I love your energy. It's what drew me to you in the first place. You're self-proclaimed sales lunatic. I love it. You clearly have a lot of fun and enjoy what you're doing, and that for me is what it's all about as well, right? Because you only get one shot, and if you're not enjoying what you're doing and having a bit of fun, then well, what's the point? So. Yeah, no, look, I really appreciate it.
Usually I end it, but I can't think of a better way to end it than that. You guys are the best. I'm the Deej, Chris Stone. Let's go get him next time.
Hail King George. Go get him.
Thank you.